everybody, how are you? I hope you're good. I hope the world is spinning around in the proper way for you. I hope that you get everything today that is needed, not wanted, needed for you to have a happy, healthy, and wonderful day. But apparently ICE agents are not having happy, productive, and wonderful days because apparently when they get attacked, the, shall we say, left-wing media decides that it is not worth reporting on and they pretend it doesn't happen. Or at least maybe according to Decoy Voice that's happening. So let's jump into Decoy here. Let's see what he has to say and we'll give our 2 cents, okay?
They remind you that you don't hate them enough, as Fox reports on the Border Patrol officer shot in the face by an undocumented individual, not to be confused with the shooting at the Fed's raid in California, or the shooting outside the Border Patrol facility in Texas, or the other shooting/ambush that occurred a couple days earlier, also in Texas. No. This incident occurred in New York City as these 2 illegals drove up on a couple at Fort Washington Park, attempting to rob a man, an off-duty Border Patrol officer, that then drew his own weapon in self-defense, but got shot in the face and arm, and then the robbers fled on their moped. What makes it worse is this incident was completely avoidable.
Our officer was off duty on Saturday evening when him and his friend were attacked. They were attacked by 2 individuals that were set on robbing them, and thankfully he had his service weapon with him and was able to defend himself and his friend. One of the suspected attackers, the one that was injured, his name is Miguel Francisco Mora Nunez, a Dominican national that was entering into this country illegally back in 2023. He was then released back into this country by the Biden administration.
Yeah, that's the part that I've never understood. Why in the world, if you have somebody who's probably already been convicted of a violent crime, and illegal, and yes, I am the throw them back guy. If you're here illegally, fuck off, go away, go back to your own country. If you want to come here, we have a proper way to do it. And ours, oddly enough, the American immigration system is the easiest one on the fucking planet. Even third world shitholes are harder. You know, but that is definitely I hate saying it's a left-wing thing to bring in people like this because, Reagan did it too. He didn't open the borders to such extent, but he gave a lot of amnesty to people who probably didn't deserve it. So it's not just a left thing as much as many people on the right would love to tout, okay? And this is Pancio. There is a reason I associate the U.S. with shootings and shitty borders. Yep. Now, yeah.
He was arrested 4 different times in New York City, and because of the mayor's policies and sanctuary city policies, was released back to do harm to...
Wait, this dude was released 4 different times? It's bad enough when you hear they're released the one time. The one time you can go, well, that was a bad decision. That was stupid. But 4 different times, that's like... Ooh, I know. That would be like if you ran head first into the wall. Okay, and it looked like a balsa wood wall. But you smack your head against the wall, right? And then you find out, oh shit, that's brick, I'm a little dizzy. Probably shouldn't do that again. You back up 10 steps, you do it one more time. I probably shouldn't do that. You back up 10 steps, you do it one more time. Probably shouldn't do that. This time you're like, you know what? I'm going for the gold, motherfucker. You back up 20 yards. You puff your foot on the ground like you're a raging bull, and then you just go for it. Head first in that brick wall and splat. Yeah.
To people and to individuals living in this city.
Now, the local NBC reporting was fairly straightforward. Border Patrol officer shot in face. But the New York Post simply wrote, "Man shot in face by moped riding hooligans." With
Moped riding hooligans. What? Not by illegal alien. Not by person who shouldn't be in the country. By moped riding hooligans. That's like a description to an 80s movie, right? Where instead of being a badass biker gang, they all rode around on little mopeds. Okay, that's ooh, I know. Hey, who watched Boba Fett? Nobody? That's okay. On there were the moped riding hooligans. That's what they oh my god, what a bunch of horseshit.
CBS's local outlet also completely burying what happened here. And this wasn't just early reporting, as the exact segment cited headlines, "Man knowing it was Border Patrol."
Man shot one person and cut.
32-year-old victim was an off-duty U.S. Customs and Border Protections officer.
And I can
At least during the actual audio part of it, they did say that he was a Border Patrol officer.
somewhat understand how he's off duty, and this isn't the same exact thing as all those cops getting popped while enforcing border laws. But they also can't ignore the lack of enforcing border laws is the only reason that man got popped in the face in the first place, and the fact that they were framing it as just a
the fact that the Biden administration did not enforce the border itself, border laws, throughout his entire presidency is why we have so much violence in the country right now. It is. There's no getting around it. There's no, well, it's because white people get drunk or some dumb shit like that. That is complete coping if you believe that at all, okay? And I don't understand why people are against sending people back to the country they came from. You know, if you want to come here, please. Or we have a doorway to come through and all that. You sign the paperwork and do it the way you're supposed to. But they won't do that because they were criminals in their home country, and they full well know that as soon as we find out they were a criminal there, we're just going to tell them to piss off. So now we have a country that's been invaded, and it's an invasion. It's not a, oh, well, they're just looking for a better place to live. Because these people are not. They're not doctors. They're not lawyers. They're not scientists that are going to find the cure for cancer, okay? The majority of them, the vast majority of them, end up doing nothing but criminal shit anyway. But hey, what do I know? I'm lucky to live in a place where I don't have to deal with this shit.
A random couple at the park getting robbed by men on a moped actually makes it worse, as it means everyone in the city is in danger, as these moped crimes are more common in countries like the Dominican Republic. But NYC has recently seen an uptick in moped riding criminals robbing women while carrying guns in gun-free NYC. So it's to no surprise that those guys that shot that Border Patrol officer were both from the Dominican Republic, entering through Biden's porous borders, released into the country by his orders, enabled to stay by NYC sanctuary city policies, even though they both had long rap sheets of
Yeah, like I said, the long rap sheets, what does he have here? Second degree reckless endangerment, fourth degree felony grand larceny. Holy shit, petite larceny, Department of Corrections, released. God damn.
exactly this crime, while both having orders for removal, but receiving protection from deportation. It's not the biggest deal that all those articles frame this as random man shot by men on moped, but it's the context of how they want you to think sanctuary cities make us safer, while ignoring the very real crime sprees this enables, as luckily that officer was carrying and could protect himself, but for anyone else in the very anti-2A state of New York, your life is decided by what they call moped riding hooligans, deciding whether or not you live or die whenever you go to the park. And that's with them ignoring the actual attacks occurring on federal agents all across the country. But what do New York congressmen say?
Do you condemn the attacks on ICE agents?
What attacks on ICE agents?
It's easy to grandstand when you just ignore the issues that your side creates, but I guess a congressman has less to do with what's happening in the city than the current frontrunner for mayor of New York City.
Stop! Masked ICE agents!
Oh, yes, stop masked ICE agents. This is one other thing that gets me, too, about these fucking people. Okay, so they don't want ICE to wear masks. Okay. As soon as it is safe for them to do their job and not have their families harassed, not be doxxed on the internet, not have to deal with death threats toward them and their families, then not have to deal with actual physical harm against them or their families, at that time I will agree wholeheartedly that they shouldn't wear masks. And only at that time. And seeing how we're going through the whole mask argument, how about just for shits and giggles, how's about we tell the people who are dressing all in black, taking, and attacking the ICE agents, those people with masks, how about we say that it is now illegal to wear a mask at a protest? You can protest all you want to. You can peacefully protest. It is within your rights as an American citizen. But it's not within your rights as an American citizen to hide your identity while you're doing it. That seems fair to me, right? And plus, I missed a couple of your things, didn't I? Last I checked, even after the new administration secured the southern borders, the more dangerous and wealthy people started coming in through the north instead. Some did, yes. Some did. I don't think it lasted as long because I think Canada was pressured into helping in that regard. And what was you got to say? Even if you don't care for ICE agents, why put their families who are not ICE agents in danger? Just as I was saying, yep.
From deporting our neighbors. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction.
Anytime you burgle a place that has a living resident and one of those residents is home, yes, it is considered a violent crime. And people do go to jail for it. It is considered a violent crime because of the potential of harm for the resident.
We have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest.
Are prisons obsolete?
Whew, coming through with the quotes. But I think that, frankly, what purpose do they serve?
Right.
What purpose does a prison serve? To keep the bad people away from the good people. That's basically what their purpose is. Okay. Sorry, they're not. Prisons are not to reinform rehabilitate and all that. It'd be nice if that was how that worked. But unfortunately, most people don't get rehabilitated in prison or jail. They just go and do it again. But that's a different discussion. This guy's an idiot. Isn't this the guy? Oh, I remember. This is the guy, right? I don't remember the guy's name on the screen, but I remember his face. He's the guy that said white neighborhoods should have to pay more taxes than any other than what was his words? Black or Asian or whatever neighborhoods. That's where I remember him from. Yeah, he's the guy who said that white people should have to pay more taxes. What a fucking moron.
Right?
Apparently this wasn't a movie, it was a prophecy, as they're currently seeing a wave of third world criminality with a built-in policy to protect these exact criminals from being deported, and the citizens are responding with, the best way to solve this is electing a guy that wants to stop ICE. Prisons don't serve a purpose, and basically argues violent crime is a artificial construct. But sad to say, the city kinda deserves it. Just 4 months ago, when deportations were ramping up, NYC's AOC was trying to teach them how to fight ICE. And even though the ICE director never went after her specifically, he's
see, why do they equate class and skin color? You know, I don't know. I've yet to figure that out. Because, I don't know, I grew up where that wasn't a thing. I mean, fucking poor is poor, right? And I grew up poor as shit. I didn't know it at the time. But, and I'm, I'm pasty. I don't understand it either.
He's now going after the city.
The sanctuary cities are now our priority. We're going to flood the zone. So what we're going to do, we're going to have more agents in New York City to look for that bad guy.
It's sad that the only chance they have is if the feds come in and save them, as half the citizens don't even know they need saving when the mainstream media is actively covering for these moped-riding hooligans. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Yes, today's moped-riding hooligans. And what else do you say? Oh, what is in the waters in the U.S.? What do I start on that one? Ideology is what it is right now. And people's ideologies are being broken. That's the simplest answer of it. People, when they believe in something so harshly, are not willing to give it up. And I hate using the word left, but we're going to. The left-leaning ideologues are now the ideologues of modern time. Okay? When it was the 90s, it was the right-leaning ideologues. And their attack was on video games, hence why you have the ESRB for video games now. Their attack was on Twisted Sister and Motley Crue and hair bands and metal and Generation X, my generation, telling them to eat a dick. So, yeah. I don't know. We're going to end that, though. What do you think? Do you think that the mainstream media is a bunch of, what's the word I can use here? Oh, fucktards. Are they a bunch of lying fucktards who just don't really care about the truth and just want to spin their own little shitty story? I think so. Anyway, do me a giant favor hitting those like, subscribe buttons, all of those wonderful fun things, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.